Hey everybody, I have such a huge hack and it's genius, and I cannot believe that I have not thought about this sooner. And I'm sure it's already out there, and I'm sure a lot of you guys already knew this, but I'm so excited that I finally came to. So, all right, let's start over. I have this stamp set. It's by Mama Elephant, Jar of Hearts. And when I saw this, I absolutely loved it and knew that I needed this in my craft room. However, when I was buying this at the time, both the Simon Says stamp and the actual website, Mama Elephant, did not have the die set. So I thought, well, I'm going to buy it anyways and just keep my eye out for it, and eventually the die is going to come in, because I don't typically buy die stamps without dies, right? Because I'm not a good fussy cutter. And the other day I got thinking, there has to be a way in order to get a digital die set. And I don't know why companies don't do that. I wish they would. It would save some money for some of us Cricut crafters, because we have the Cricut, but they don't. And there are also some stamp sets that have the coordinating die that does not have every die for every sentiment or design. There's a, like, for example, like scrapbook.com has a whole thing of different ways to say happy birthday, and they have a lot of dies, but they don't have all of the dies for all the stamps, and that's so infuriating. And so I thought there has to be a way that I can die cut this out without fussy cutting. So I am going to show you guys that in this video. So not only is this going to be helpful to those who don't want to spend the extra money to buy the dies. Now I know there's a scan and cut that you can get and cut out, but that's more money, and they're not exactly cheap, right? So I wanted to find a cheaper way, because the whole point of it is I want to find a way that I can just buy the stamps and not have to buy the dies. Now, I will tell you, this is a little bit more work that involves as to compare to just having the die, place it on the stamp, and then running it through your machine and you're done, right? It's a lot quicker and it's more convenient to have the die. But if money is tight, or you just kind of want to tiptoe into card making but don't want to invest a lot of money, this video is going to be for you. It's just mind blown. Okay, so I decided to, here's what I decided to do. I went ahead and did this off camera, okay? And I stamped this out. Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to stamp it out because you don't need to see all of that. That's the same thing if you want to see how you stamp onto a piece of paper. That's for a different video. I show that all the time on my channel, so just watch any card video that involves stamping and you will see it. So I just arranged all of my stamps on a piece of paper. It doesn't matter the size. It does matter, I guess, on how big your scanner is. So I have a standard like 8.5 by 11 size scanner. I believe that's what the size is. So obviously you don't want to exceed more than that. You don't want to do a 12 by 12. But again, I have a 5 by 5, and there's no reason why I had a 5 by 5. It's just a scrap that I had in my little scrap bin. In fact, I have quite a few of those, right? Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to stamp it out, and you really want to get a good impression. Now, you don't really have to care about the inside. This part could be really fuzzy. It doesn't really matter. What matters is the outline of the die, or of the stamp, excuse me. So again, you're just really caring about the outside of it, because you're not going to worry about the inside, and I'll show you here in a moment. So once you have done that, you are going to scan this, okay? You're going to scan this into your scanner, okay? And then you're going to bring it into Canva. So let's go hop into Canva. Hopping into Canva. Now, you do not have to use Canva, okay? But here's why I'm going to tell you Canva is more helpful and quicker than Design Space, because Design Space will allow you to make parts like a part of your SVG file, make it transparent, but it's way too time consuming. Now, if you don't want to pay for the Canva Pro edition, which is what I use, then yes, take the time and use Design Space. But I use Canva all the time, especially for example, I don't think this video has been posted, but this was a digital stamp that I had purchased on Etsy. This video is going to get posted here soon. And I like to, especially if I get it off the internet for free. So for example, if I go to Pinterest, I can get digital artwork and I can download them, make it transparent. As long as I'm not selling it, I think it's legal. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I do. I don't sell it. So I assume it's okay. And there's a lot of stamps, digital stamps that I do purchase because I really want it and I can't download it without it having issues. But Canva will allow you to, sometimes when you do what I just told you, when you go to Pinterest, download a outline image like this, sometimes the lines are super thin and it doesn't really truly reflect a stamp, and I want it to reflect a stamp. So there's a way in Canva that you can make the lines of your outline of your image thicker, okay? You will see how to do that in this video that you see before you. So this is not this video, so I will digress on that. But I also use Canva for my YouTube channel and also for work, because you can do PowerPoint. I mean, it's just endless. So this is why I do why I pay for the Canva subscription. It's totally worth it. Okay, so here I scanned in the image. All right, I just stamped it out and then I scanned it in, right? So the only thing is, if you look here, let me go ahead and pull this out. I don't know if you can tell, but this actually can be a shaker. Okay, so I'm going to show you, and of course I can't get that in my image because you don't stamp anything in there. Well, I can show you how to get that here in a little bit, so don't worry about that. I'm not going to do a shaker in this card or in this video, but what I am going to do is I am going to show you how to do it as a shaker in case you want it to be a shaker. Okay, so don't worry about scaling it in. My scanned in as a PDF, so I can't really edit for some reason. Oh, I can. All right, I was gonna say for some reason it wouldn't allow me to scan it or adjust the size. But okay, you don't have to worry about adjusting the size. I mean, you can if you want, but I'm not going to worry about that. And all you want to do is click on. Let me just go ahead and start all over here. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit upload. Oh, let's see here. Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm going to upload my image. Okay, it is not a transparent background because if I try to change the color of my my background, you'll see that this is a full white sheet. Okay, so we need to make it a full size. Or we need to make it transparent. So you're going to click on background remover. Okay, now it's a background, it removes the background so you can see that pink inside of my images. And you also notice that my scanner kind of scanned in something there. I don't see it on my paper, so I'm not sure what that is. So I'm actually can just hit edit and then adjust. Oops, not adjust. Then you're going to click on background remover, and then you're just going to erase that. Okay, so I would highly suggest, if you see any little markings that are not supposed to be there, then do erase it in Canva. That way you don't have to contour it out, because it's hard to contour something that small in Design Space unless you're zoomed really far in. So to me, it's just quicker and easier to contour it out in Design Space or in Canva. Again, totally a personal preference, but that's just what I prefer to do. Again, you don't have to use Canva. Again, I'll show you a way around that. So now that you have this done, you're going to go ahead and hit share, download, and then I have multiple pages on there, so you may not have to do this, but current page 1, which is this page 1, it says right here, okay? And then I want to make sure that transparent background is selected. Now, this is a Canva Pro feature. So if you don't have Canva Pro, you're going to have to pay for it. And if this is something that you're going to get into, I would highly recommend getting Canva, because even you guys see my Cricut Can 2 series, and I do a lot of print and cut, and even Canva has all these really cool you know, designs that you could use in your cards. So it's just totally worth it for me. But anyways, so transparent background and then hit download. So now we can hop into Design Space. I'm in Design Space. I have my background as gray just so you can see how this is going to come together. So I will click on upload. I will hit browse image, and then I'm going to click on my downloaded image and hit open. Yeah, see, here are some of the digital stamps that I got. So you'll see, I think some, you may not see how I did these, but these definitely you'll see. Okay, so hit open, there's my image, hit continue. Now, here's the thing. If you don't have Canva Pro, you can go ahead and do the transparent background by clicking on each white space. Now, it's not white, it's transparent because that's how we downloaded it. But for those who do not want to spend the money, it looks like that little dot is still there. Goodness. If you don't want, that's okay, we can get rid of it easily. But if you don't want to spend, oh, this is because I downloaded it earlier. That's fine. But anyways, if you don't want to spend the money, you're just gonna have to click on each background. So it could get really tedious clicking. Look, you're gonna have to click, I don't know, maybe click on every space here, and then on these little tiny pieces, this tiny piece, that tiny piece, that, and you're gonna have to, I mean, you're really gonna have to zoom in and start clicking. Now that we have that all done, I'm gonna hit apply and continue. And then you could do a flat graphic or a single layer. In fact, the sample that I did that you haven't seen, I did a single layer because I wanted to see how, I did it both. I did both flat graphic and single layer, because single layer, what that will do is it will do a basic cut, right? Like you're cutting vinyl. Flat graphic turns it into a print and cut, which honestly, the operation is still going to work the same. So it really, at this point, does not matter. So one scans in a little bit smaller, true to size, and well, no, not true to size, because neither of them were true to size. So honestly, both of them doesn't really matter. So for this, I'll do single layer and hit continue and then upload. So here is our image. Now, I will be completely honest, this is not an exact 100% foolproof plan. There's human error. I don't exactly have a ruler that's going to get me down to the nearest 32nd or whatever the case is. So you're just going to give your, I mean, it's handmade. It's not done commercially, right? So this is all part of the fun. Now, here's what we need to do. We need to at least get a length of one of our items, okay? And I am actually going to, now you could double check it, but I'm going to go ahead and get the length of, because we need to scan this or scale this down, because this is 11 by 11, you know, ish, right? And obviously looking here, this is not 11 by 11. So we obviously need to change the scale of our basic cut or of our digital stamp here. Now it's digital, pretty cool. What we're gonna do is we're gonna measure. We just need one known length that's gonna make sense. So for example, I would not use from here to there, okay? But what I would use maybe is the length of, well, the thing is I would use the length of this line, but Design Space does not give you that measurement. So I would do something more on the linear side. You could do from right to left, but then you got these weird angles. So the easiest one is either using this one, because you want to go out to your furthest points, or from here to there, or this one right here, which is what I did earlier, and it worked out perfectly. So you kind of want to be a little bit meticulous on which one you select to measure. So going back down to my workspace, I got my ruler here, and I'm going to measure the furthest edge out all the way to the edge. Let's see here. I'm just making sure I'm aligning it the way it needs to be. Let me just do it. Actually, I'm going to do it this way. I think I remember I did not do it. It's hard for me to see that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this. It's hard to have your polymer stamp on here because it kind of gets it hard to see the outline. So this is true to scale. So I'm just going to use this. So I'm going to measure from here to there. and it's about 2 3/8. Now, I did find on their website, let me go ahead and get that out for you. I did find on their website they actually have approximate measurements, like the jar is 2.35 by 2.4. Well, if you round up 2 3/8, because 2 3/8 in decimals 0.375, if I'm right, you round that up, it's it's 2.4, right? So I actually got that pretty close. This is the closest I'm going to get when it comes to all of that. Now, the reason why I am showing you the ruler method is because most websites, stamps, they don't have measurements for that kind of stuff. They give you basically the size of your acetate sheet here. So this is why I'm really grateful that they have this here, because I could go off of this. But in case the website, so always check the website. If you're not good at measuring and you want to be more precise, check the website. Okay, and see if they have that, and if they don't, then you got to measure. Okay, and getting it to the nearest eighth, I think would be good enough. All right, so what we need to do, getting back into Design Space, is we need to measure from here to here. Now, if I click on this, you'll notice it's selecting all of it, and it's not grouped, right? So simply, ungrouping it is just not going to work, right? So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to contour the rest out. Okay, so what we want to do is we need to contour this, okay? Because we just want this to be our only image in Design Space. So I'm going to come over here and click on Contour, and I am going to click on everything to get rid of it, except for my jar. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. You will see that I have everything selected, or at least the main portions that I need to have selected. You will see that I don't have everything selected. You don't have to, because again, we're not printing this out. We're just cutting the outline, and even this inside part doesn't even matter as well, but because it's connected to the outside, which is why it's selected. So I don't even need to worry about that. So now that we have that, we're going to go ahead and click on Contour, and then we're going to go ahead and hit Hide All and then Show All. I don't know why you got to do that, but that's what you got to do. Okay, so now everything is back. We don't have to we don't have to scale up any of the rest of the items because they're all attached. So when this got scaled up, so did the rest of the items. See what I mean? You could slice it out, but then now when you slice out each image, then you're having to then you're going to have to scale up each single item. Does that make sense? So I would always just contour. It's kind of time consuming, yes, but I would always contour it out, scale one item with a known dimension, and then turn it all back on. Okay, that's just the easiest way. If you know a quicker way, then by all means. I played around with it before I started recording, and this was the quickest way. Now, let's create that offset. Now, every stamp has an offset, right? You have a little bit of a white border, or depending on what color cardstock you stamp on, there's always a tiny bit of a border. And so I'm going to select my image, click on Edit, and I'm click on Offset, and I Google search what the typical offset distance is when it comes to stamps. So I kind of just played around with it visually, but after doing some research, I did find that 0.063 is going to be your best offset distance, which is what they typically use when it comes to stamping. So type in 0.063 and hit Apply, okay? Now, excuse me. Now what we want to do is make sure our offset is selected, click on Contour, and then hit Hide All Contours. I'm going to click on that again. Well, now it's not working nicely. Oh, come on, Design Space. So now I'm going to have to click on each individual ones. My goodness, these bugs are ridiculous. Everything is now hidden, so it will hit Apply. So you want it to be solid filled, and then you want to change it to, well, you can leave it any color at this point because we're not going to do any printing, but I'm going to change mine to white just so we can see this a little bit better. Okay, so now we're ready to cut with our Cricut. Now before we do, I do want to show you, I'm going to move this to the side. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this. Wrong one. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this guy right here, okay? I'm going to show you how to make that shaker portion. And here's how. If you want to look right here, I'm going to measure that opening just so I can get an idea. So it is, let's see here, 1 7/8. And I believe the approximate width of our object is 2.35, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate the slice results. I'm going to duplicate that, and I'm going to go ahead and contour everything. Excuse my phone. Contour everything except for that jar. Do that one more time. Okay, so now we just need to do some math. So I'm going to do 2.35 minus 1 point, I think it's 7/8 is 8.875. Let me know if I'm right, my math people. So excuse me, 0.475. And then I'm going to divide that by 2. Well, actually, yeah, I need to divide that by 2 because I need to figure out how much of that offset is. And I'm probably doing way more work. You could just kind of eye it and be done with it. So really, this is way more involved, if I'm being honest. So I probably should just not even showing you guys this. I'm a very detailed and technical person. All right, so I'm going to hit edit. I'm going to go ahead and hit offset. But this time, I'm going to offset inward. Oh, it's not going to let me offset. Okay, that's fine. So we'll just offset it outward, and we'll type in 0.2375 and hit OK. Apply. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and slice that. Okay, so now I'm going to delete that. I have this. I'm going to contour, but this time I'm going to contour this and this. I want that, but I don't want the rest. Let's see here. Are you gonna work with me? Apply. Okay, so I have this part here. Now what I'm gonna do, so much detail going on here. I am going to, oops, I don't want to duplicate that. I want to duplicate my offset. Duplicate that. I'm gonna contour. Again, I'm not gonna contour. I'm just gonna, maybe it's going to be wise to make multiple copies so you're not constantly having to contour. It's probably what I should have done. Okay, so there's that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that to the front, and I'm going to go ahead and overlay them. Center. Come on. Here we go. Okay. So now I am going to go ahead and contour this. I'm going to see if I can get rid of this. I hate that it does that. Let's see here, turn that off. Okay, I have a way around this because it's not wanting to behave nicely. It's fine. We will just do slice. See, this is why I love slice. I use slice all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that. You can only slice 2 objects at a time. So I'm going to slice that, delete that. Oops, no, don't want to delete that. Delete that. And then I'm going to come over here, slice. Where there's a way, there's a will. And we are going to get it. Okay. Actually, I probably are going to be able to contour this out now. I don't think it's going to be a problem. I don't have to keep on slicing. Yep, I can. Don't ask me why that works. Okay, so now that I have that, I'm going to go ahead and center that horizontally, and then I can't do vertically anymore because, you know, it won't look right. I'm gonna just try to eye it up, and I think that looks good. And then I can just slice it, and finally there is our shaker. Okay, I promise, hopefully I can edit this a little bit. There's a little bit back and forth, but it was super easy to do, and I got it. So I might do this off camera, but we're just going to go ahead and work on these pieces. So I'm going to cut all pieces together, and then I'll do the shaker off camera, and I'll show you at the very end because I really do want to do that. Okay, so this part here, you can totally hide that because we no longer need it. These are our pieces. So let's go ahead and get this going. So I will hit make. on the mat, confirm. Okay, so this is all grouped together, and that's fine. If you don't want it to be grouped to conserve paper, then, you know, contour and have one individually, but I'm going to leave mine as is. I'm going to get out my mat here. I'm going to put my 5x5 sheet. Again, it doesn't have to be 5x5. And then I also have another one that I'm going to go ahead and put here. It's going to cut out on that. So I'm going to shift that over, right? Okay, and then I'm going to hit continue. And then I will hit medium cardstock, 80 pounds. And then I'm going to go ahead and run this through my Cricut machine. It is all done cutting out, just as if you ran it through your die cut. Now, here's the thing. You can leave it in here and stamp directly on there. Or you can take it out. I don't know which one I want to do, if I'm being honest. I did it when I took it out, and it worked out fine. I actually did a pretty good job. I will say, I will be honest, okay? I will need some practice. I'm not good. I always stamp and die cut. There are some card makers that will die cut first and stamp, and mainly because if they mess up on the die cut, they didn't invest all this time in stamping and coloring and all of that. So I will say there's that, okay? So now typically you want to turn your mat over, bend the mat, but the thing of it is I want to make sure that I have these the right way. I don't want to have them upside down or backwards. So I'm just kind of bending my mat and trying to get these out. Okay, so there's my cute little shaker, and then the rest we can worry about later. So here are our pieces. Now keep in mind, we have this, now we have this, and now we just have to stamp, okay? And I'm gonna bring this in. I'm gonna use this. You can use your Misty, but I find this when you're doing stamp then, or die cut first and then stamp, I find this to be a lot easier. Now I am going to use my Memento Tuxedo Black because I'm going to be using my Copics or alcohol markers, and this is really good for coloring with your Copics. And you just want to, I'm going to turn this over because I want to make sure that I can never double stamp when I do this because I never can get it aligned. It's like one and done, and I don't want to mess this up. I want to make sure that I am good to go. I really think I need to re-ink this. They have re-inkers, so you don't need to buy the pad, by the way. So unless yours is being all mucked up. So okay, so we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to have to push it kind of closer to me. Oh yeah, this is much better margins than how I originally did this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and line this up. Sorry if my big head's in the way, but you want to make sure. And I'm going to go down. Okay, practice will make perfect, hopefully. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of tap it off. You guys, look it! This is what happens when you don't have the die. You could just stamp it, right? How awesome is that? Okay, I'll go ahead and do this one just because I do want to make this off camera. Okay, here we go. Make sure that we push down on it really good, and then it fell off. Look at that perfection. I'm gonna go ahead and speed everything up so we can get the other 4 done. So here are my pieces, and if you want to watch the coloring process, you can watch the coloring process. I'm going to go ahead and get this colored. Okay, got all the coloring done. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use, this is Pretty Pink Posh Pierced Hearts plate, and totally optional. If you want to keep this strictly Cricut related, you can. I'm not. Obviously you can. You can create a background with hearts, and I'm sure they have something on there. I'm gonna go ahead and run this through my machine. I'll be right back. I need a new magnetic plate, excuse me. It is on order, so it will be here. I have a full-size one. I got it for Christmas, and I use it all the time. But when I do pierce plates like this, I do use this because this is hard to get off your mat, and I don't want to ruin my other mat, so I use that. Okay, let's trim this down. I do want to trim this down to, let's see here, I could go, oh, that's my phone again, sorry. I can do a really small margin, honestly. That would be kind of cute. Or, oh, I have a better idea. Hang on. Even better idea. What I'd like to use, this is so full, it's gonna like all fall out. Oh my goodness. Ah, here they are. Okay, I'm gonna use my Pretty Pink Posh eyelet rectangles. I'm obsessed with anything that's scalloped related. And I think I'm going to use this size. I think that's going to be a really good size to kind of, yeah, it's good. Yeah, that's going to be perfect. All right, let me run this through my machine real quick. I'll be right back. I just need to line this up really good. I guess it doesn't matter if it's completely crazy, but you know, you kind of want to get a straight line here. In fact, if you want to get it centered, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I'm zoomed in. In fact, if you want to create a really cool border, maybe get this centered. There we go. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and run this through my machine. I'll be right back. Okay, and then we have our cute little border. Oh, love it. You can keep this and have this popped up, or you can have it inlaid if you centered it, right? But I don't think I want to do that. I almost wish I would have wanted a little bit bigger because I feel like now you can't see the hearts. Maybe I'll do an inlay. I do like the inlay design. That's actually pretty cool. I went ahead and popped everything up with some foam tape. And now, gosh, my phone. I have go all day and nothing. And then the second I sit down and record, everyone wants to notify me. Okay, bring that in. Make sure I have this oriented the wrong way. I would hate to go through all of that trouble. Oh, snap. Almost just ruined it, y'all. Did I get it on there straight? Absolutely not. That's okay. It's kind of hard because it's flimsy. But we don't do perfection. At least I don't. And then this is just going to nuzzle. Let me bring in my reverse tweezers because sometimes using reverse tweezers is really helpful. Sometimes it's not. Most of the time it is. Okay, let that nuzzle in there. Perfect. I love it. Just gives enough visual interest. I hate that it's crooked, but there's nothing I can do about it. And I did pop this up in with some foam tape as well as some foam squares. That looks good. Okay, and then this does have some foam squares on the back as well because we don't have enough dimension, right? There we go. I am so excited about this because dies are just getting to be too expensive. I mean, if you're wondering, a die like this is probably like 17-18 bucks. And if you have your Cricut, I mean, this doesn't seem like it's expensive, but when you add the stamps, you're spending anywhere between $30 and $50 for a whole set, right? So, you know, I'm not saying this, I have a lot that I've already bought, so you're probably going to see more stamps and dies on my channel, but this year I'm all about trying to be smart with how I'm spending my money, and I just really, not that I'm not, but what I'm saying is I just want to be a little bit, you know, conservative with what I buy as far as card making is concerned. And if money's tight that month, then yeah, and I want to buy some things, I won't buy the dies, I'll just buy the stamps, and we'll just have to make do, right? Okay, or, you know, like I said, there's a lot of stamps that doesn't have coordinating dies. Here's what you can do. All right, yes, we do need some embellishment. The last one. Wow, I love how this card turned out. Oh my goodness. Isn't that so cute? And I use my Cricut and my stamps. Okay, let me go ahead and get the other card down so I can show you what that looks like as a shaker. I'll be right back. Oh my goodness, I love how this card turned out. I kept it the same color scheme. I used that fairy tale cardstock from Spellbinders, and then this gray is Fog, and again from Spellbinders. This shaker card just turned out so beautifully, and oh my goodness, I cannot believe that it's taken me this long to figure this out. I'm sure there's a video somewhere out there doing this exact same thing, but oh my gosh, I am so excited, and I just love the simplicity of this in comparison to this one. So let me know which one's your favorite. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this tutorial was helpful, and I know it was a little fast, but there was a lot to cover in this video. But anyway, all right, well, thank you so much for watching. I will catch you guys in the next card or craft video. Bye!